I want you to pretend that this is the big piece of material that you are using. This would be the selvage edges. These would be your raw edges on the side. Now I know that this isn't perfect. If you're sewing, make it perfect. Put a waistband in here, hem, and you're done. Okay everyone, let's do some math. Now remember, don't panic. So far you're good. You can do this. Radius, R. This is the number that you need. Equals circumference. This is your circumference. Divided by 2 times pi. Now, I know there's a good amount of our population that's looking at this going, ah! Okay, one more time. Don't panic. I'm going to hold your hand through this. It's going to be okay. Your circumference is equal to your waist. You can add in ease if you want. I didn't because my waist doesn't expand a whole lot when I breathe. I have more of a top-heavy breath than a bottom-heavy breath. So that means that my waist actually doesn't need a huge amount of ease. And for this kind of skirt, I am more concerned about the waistline actually staying where it's supposed to be, because this is a lot of material and it drags down something fierce. There's a lot of weight to it. So this waist, if you add anything to it, note how you breathe with your measuring tape. And think about what you actually do while wearing your clothing. At most, for me, I would have added maybe 1/2 inch of ease. So this is your waist. Whatever it is that you want, this circumference around your waist to be. I would err on the side of closer to this actual real measurement than adding a lot of ease in. Okay, let's play with some numbers. Remember, this is the number that you really are looking for. This is the number that you already have. You know what 2 is, and that little cute symbol is pi. Pi equals 3.14. Always, forevermore. So let's fill this in. R, we still don't know. R equals my waist, 27.5, divided by 2 times 3.14. This is not a math classroom that says you can't use the calculator. So let me show you how to put this in. 2 times 3.14 is clear all of this out. 27.5 divided by 6.28. My radius is equal to 4.4. That's a 7, and that's an 8, and that's a 9. This is all verging on really close to 4.4. I will go up because I'm going with my real waist without any ease. So I'm willing to go up just a notch, and there's my ease. Good enough for me. So now that you have this number, you can just plain forget all of that and just stick with this one number right here, 4.4. 4.4 on here is straight up confusing, and you're entirely too tempted to say, that's close enough to a ½ inch. But we can do better than that. We can absolutely do better than that. We have 4.4. The first 4 makes sense. That's 4 inches. We can find 4 inches. The 0.4, however, 0.40625, which this is a very small, I mean so small, just don't worry about that too much. 13/32. So this is in between 3/8 of an inch and 7/16 of an inch. So my ruler may not do 30 seconds. It does 16ths, however, and I can do 8ths. So I'm aiming in between those 2 points on my ruler, and this is going to be close enough that it'll be fine. So let's find it on the ruler. All right, let's take a look at my incredibly messy ruler. Here's our 4. This is our 4 inches. This is a quarter, this is another quarter, that is another quarter, and another quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, that is an inch, because 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is 1. This is an 1/8. 1/8, 2/8. 1/8 plus 1/8 equals 2/8 equals 1/4. That makes sense. 1/8, 1/8. We already know that this is 1/4. So 1/8, 1/8, another 1/8, another 1/8. This is your 4th. This is your 1/8. This is another 4th. This is an 1/8. And this is 1. From here to here is 1. So in between here and here is another line. This is a 16th. Tiny 16th, tiny 16th, tiny 16th, tiny 16th, tiny 16th, tiny 16th. And if you add every single line up, you're going to have 16 lines. 16 over 16 equals 1. So again, all of this is always 1, but this is just the way it's divided up so that you can measure stuff. So our chart said we wanted something in between 3/8 and 7/16. Okay, let's find 3/8. Remember that this is an 1/8. 1, 2, 3. So this is 3/8. This is the important number now. Okay, so let's find something in between 3/8 and 7/16. This is an 1/8. This is an 1/8. That's an 1/8. 1, 2, 3. This is 3/8. Let's find 7/16 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7/16. So our point of radius is right here. So where are we landing? Right there. That's where I want my radius to be. Inch 1, 2, 3, 4, and something in between 3/8 and 7/16, which is here, and this is my radius. The math is now done. Completely done. That is all you have to do. Please note that this decimal chart is 100% related to rulers. If you just convert to a fraction, you're going to be miserable. Get yourself a nice little chart. They're all over the internet, and things will be easier. Let's go back to pretend material. Selvage edge, selvage edge. Depending on how thick your material is and how good your scissors are, you may want to just simply cut this and not actually fold it. If you have enough material to fold it, that means that your entire skirt doesn't have any seams. That's actually pretty cool, but being able to do it this way you need to understand that you are cutting off a huge chunk of material from all of your corners, and the material waste off of this is incredibly high. This bothers someone like me on every level, so I'd rather have an extra seam in my circle skirt than not. So let's do this. So now you have two pieces of material. What you do is take your ruler. Now, obviously, this is supposed to be inches long and going way out. But I'll give you an idea. So you take your ruler, remember with that little dot, and you come down here. You put it right there on the edge, and you go straight out, nice and even. And you make a mark. You pivot at any point, and you make a mark. That seems really large, so I'm going to come back here and make a mark. And I'm just going to continue to pivot and place dots everywhere. And I'm going to do my best to aim for the exact same spot here and the exact same spot here every single time I make a dot. Please note that my material over here isn't large enough for this fake circumference, but you can see how you then draw this out, and you have, this would be your circumference for your waist up high. Remember this? This is the bottom of your skirt. This is your waist. This is also a circumference. And that is what we're doing right now. There's this. Now take a look at me actually creating this. You are going to now see me putting out lines by using my very large measuring tape. You're going to see me putting in the length of the skirt, which is based upon not from here, which no longer exists, but you're measuring out from here all the way around, all the way down to the bottom of the skirt, and that is your circumference for the bottom of the skirt that you don't need to have a measurement for, because all you're simply doing is the full length that you are looking for. I opted for full length because I don't know what I was thinking, but apparently I really wanted to do a lot of hemming. Okay, everyone, let's talk skirt construction. Let's start with the top. We have a straight waistband, 2 buttons. The button side is longer, as is this side, with an inserted zipper. It is not an invisible zipper. But is well done. I'll sew that on after I'm done with this episode. But I know exactly where to put it. I can't believe that just came off. Wild. All right, so that's what it would look like. Okay, not so much. So that's what it would look like. Put this over to the side. All right, let's take a look at the inside of the waistband. Actually, first the outside. Because of the way this material is, I decided to do a top stitch at the bottom and try to capture most of the back of this. And for the most part, that worked. There were a couple of places where I needed to do a little bit of a whip stitch, but that's on the inside and no one's going to see it. Here's the zipper. This is the selvage edge of the material that got flipped around. I actually consistently did that through the entire skirt. I like using selvage edges. I serged the other side. And then for the hem, I was in the middle of sewing my blue skirt, so I ended up getting very, very lazy with the blue. And I zigzag stitched, and then I hand stitched this down. You can tell because you have those little dimples along the bottom of the skirt. I'm not sure you can see that on camera though. Tiny dimples. This is a full circle skirt, which means 360 degrees, which is really, really wild. The beauty of linen and its amazing power to wrinkle the second you look at it. So obviously this is a full 360 degree skirt. Considering the length, I'm going to say that this would be a hostess skirt from the 1950s. This would be worn in your house while you were entertaining your husband's boss. As you can see, that's one piece. And then these two had to be cut from separate pieces. I am okay with all of that because that's what the material allowed me to do. I put the zipper in right there. So the zipper, I'm going to wear it in my back and then wear a cinch belt over the whole thing and call it good.